Why do I love Tom Shadyac even though he has better hair and is in better shape than I am? It's not just that I love his brother Rick and their dad's St. Jude legacy. In the words of the song Abby just offered, Tom puts more love into the world, and he has chosen Memphis as the place to do it, a city which this temple has been a part of for 163 years, a city where 100 years ago, following the public lynching of L. Persons, it was the rabbi of this temple, William Feinschreiber, who led all the ministers of Memphis to the lynching site to say, we are all responsible for what happened. Judaism has never been about the me. It's always been about the we, the who we are as human beings created in God's image. Judaism is our vehicle for the building of a better world. And whenever I'm with Tom, I get re-inspired on how to make tomorrow better than today, certainly better than yesteryear when it comes to our common humanity. This is the one Sabbath when we celebrate the all, past, present, and future. Temple is a spiritual anchor in the lives of so many, including Memphis itself. And our vibrancy stems from the vision, creativity, and synergies we create together. Since Tom teaches storytelling at the University of Memphis and Lemoyne-Owen College, here's one you may not have heard. That's a fitting way to introduce him. After Nelson Mandela was freed from prison, a young HIV survivor during the epidemic in South Africa was asked how he managed to live and survive each day. And the teenager around your age said 18 words. 18, as we know from the scrolls, is the number for life. Chai, as in l'chaim. The teen wasn't any older than these teens. He turned to Nelson Mandela, and these are the 18 words he said. I hope they're 18. Do the most that you can with the time that you have in the place where you are. Those 18 words summarize why I admire, love, and appreciate the presence of my brother, friend, teacher, community partner, and kindred spirit on our pulpit tonight. Tom Shadyac of Hollywood Nutty Professor, Ace Ventura, Bruce Almighty fame. He's a living example of what it means in Judaism to do the most that you can with the time that you have in the place where you are, to move from success to significance. He doesn't even call it nonprofit. He calls it for purpose. To live and believe that every life matters. He may be of Lebanese and Irish descent, but this difference maker is all about the other half of the sanctuary circle, the community beyond these walls, the oneness and magic of a city where nothing happens and then the impossible happens, like what he's doing in Soulsville and what Temple is helping to shape at Crosstown. Whenever I listen to him, I hear echoes of what Einstein meant when he said, a new type of thinking is required if humanity is to survive. The story of our people has always been the few leading the many, understanding the power every person has to make a difference. Not only Mandela, Golda Meir, or King, but the three other brave Israeli leaders from our sister congregation outside Tel Aviv who are with us tonight, to all the trustees who care for thousands. If the power of one sounds utopian, and with this I close, consider that Memphis Jews constitute less than 1% of the population. This temple is about 70% of that 1%, but 1% is still a fraction, and yet look at the difference a few souls from Temple have made and continue to make from Memphis, the Jewish people and all people. The one who teaches not only college students, but rabbis like me, the message of interconnection, the power of love to move mountains. The one who inspires the thinking of better together, more love through his own thinking, is our 163rd annual Shabbat speaker, Tom Shadyac. Yes, since the mountains clap in the book of Psalms, it's perfectly fine for you to clap too.
Come on.
You got to pay us.
A little pay us. I came prepared. Thank you. He's amazing. I would say, what did you quote the book of Psalms? We can clap again for the rabbi. I don't think I have to tell you how blessed you are with this man. I met Rabbi Micah at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which he called sacred ground. And his words were sacred. He reminded my brother and I, my family helped to found St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. How many of you know my brother? A few of you, a couple of you? Yep, he's got shorter hair and he wears a suit. I'm the other side. I'm the yin to his yang. Although I do want to say, I always wear jeans, but today's a special day. I looked up why 163 years, what was happening 163 years ago? Jeans were invented. Thank you. I honor you today with the jeans. The other thing, the potato chip. I didn't think it was as appropriate, but the potato chip was invented. So I gave this talk after Rabbi Micah spoke. I can't say exactly what you said because there was a spicy word in it, but I went, this guy's cool, right? This is not a guy who elevates above his congregation. This is a guy who gets down in the meat, in the marrow, in the muck and says, I'm one of you. How do we do this better together? And my heart just burst open. So, and here he is now feeling this. And as I was speaking at St. Jude, I could feel him feeling my words. I was speaking to a bunch of corporate CEOs that were going, okay, when's he done? Okay, when's he done? But Rabbi Micah, thank you, brother. I love you. You're why I'm here. And I feel very blessed. I've followed faith my whole life. All I care about is what's true. And yet I've never been inside a synagogue. This place is awesome. It's beautiful. I'm raised Catholic, so usually at this point in the ceremony, I'm a little more depressed. I'm a little bummed out. There's this place we're all going, unless I get it right. But this is beautiful. We share similar. We light candles. We drink wine. I think there's something to that wine thing. And the words were beautiful. I met Beth, and we share a heritage in L.A., and I didn't meet the singer. She's amazing. I mean, you guys got the Jewish jewel, the Jewish Adele. She's wonderful. So, one more word about Rabbi Mike, and then I'm going to actually do. He's like, go on, move on, move on. I got to say this because you complimented my hair, which is like, here's the thing. I'm a weekly shower guy. Today was the shower day. That's why it's looking okay. But I read an article on you because I wanted to see where you're from and look at his beautiful humility. And Rabbi Micah wasn't just praised for his wisdom, but his beauty. I think the reporter was in love with you. She said you are curly-haired and handsome. That's it. No, it was not 15 years ago because she said you were 50 but looked 30. And I've been described as curly-haired as well, but usually there's a different other word. But we all see your beauty. And again, I'm moving on because I know you want me to move on. But the love I have for you is the love I feel in this congregation, and that's the love that brought me here today. It's the love that brought me to Memphis. So I'm going to tell you, hi, young folks. If you ever come to the University of Memphis, you're welcome to take my class. I teach a class called Storytelling in Life. We talk about stories and how they apply to your lives. We eat pizza. We have conversations. We hear about your challenges. It sounds like the easiest class in the world, but it's the hardest class because it demands something from you for the rest of your lives. Because you know something about yourself and what it takes to walk in what we call the hero's journey. I've discovered as a storyteller that it's all one story. Joseph Campbell called it the hero's journey. I call it the human journey, and it's all a love story. So I'm very Socratic whenever I talk. That means I want to meet the people I'm speaking with at their questions. And so I asked Rabbi Micah to be Socratic with me. What questions could I answer that might provide a perspective, a look into my life and how we meet each other? And he gave me these 5 questions. And I think these 5 questions all have one answer. So question number 1 is, why the heck am I in Memphis? Question number 2 is, are we all really the same or different? Are we more different or are we more the same? Question 3 is what you said in your introduction, which is, what is this new way of thinking humanity is going to need to survive? Young people, this one is right at you, because this is what I teach. Einstein was no dummy, right? Two of my favorite people ever. I consider myself Jewish by proxy because I've been following Jesus the Jew. I don't understand any of the dogma, so just Jesus the Jew. And I follow Einstein's brilliant wisdom. And Einstein said, he looked at life, the way we live life, the way we enter society. And Einstein said, humanity, all of us, are going to require a new way of thinking. He called it a substantially new way of thinking to survive. So what's that new way of thinking? The next question is, what's love got to do with it? Because you got to have a little Tina Turner. And the final question is, what does this mean for all of you? What does this mean for people of faith, in the Judaic faith and in other faiths? What do we do in the midst of this? So first, quickly, why Memphis? Wow. I didn't love Memphis when I first came. Now remember, my family's been associated with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. My dad helped found it with Danny Thomas. We're Lebanese. Thank you for no metal detectors. You're safe. But Danny Thomas, who was basically my uncle, and my dad were best friends, and they found this beautiful hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. No child pays for anything. They give them free, not just treatment, but housing and food allowances. They take care of every need, educational. So I would come to Memphis, and when my brother took over the CEO-ship, that's the ALSAC arm of St. Jude, which raises the funds for ALSAC. ALSAC stands for American Lebanese Syrian Associated Charities. And I want to remind the current administration that the word Syrian was very valuable to that vision. Because without the Syrians, we wouldn't have cures for our kids today. So it's one thing to shut out a population because we're afraid of a percent of that population, but what beauty and light are we shutting out as well? So I'd come for years, and my brother took over the CEO-ship, and I'd been teaching college at Pepperdine, and I thought, let me give one semester to the University of Memphis. Let me just go into the school and give them a semester and see what that's like. I fell in love with Memphis because of the kids I met at the University of Memphis. I'm going to tell you one quick story to show you how my philosophy changed. I didn't love Memphis, like I said. I love mountains. There's no mountains here. I'm always on a mountain bike. I'm always mountain climbing. It was so hot here. I'm from LA. It's like the weather, the easiest job in LA is the weatherman. 70 and sunny, 70 and sunny, 70 and sunny. And I came here and I was sweating in places I didn't know I had. So I wasn't a fan, and my brother said, hey, would you help us, because you're a creative guy, Tom, would you help us brand Memphis? We're trying to come up with some slogans. And so he invited me to a meeting with the heads of FedEx and the heads of AutoZone, et cetera, in the mayor's office, and they're trying to come up with a slogan. And my slogan was this when I first didn't understand Memphis. My slogan was, Memphis, we're working on it. Okay. That's my first slogan. My second slogan, in a similar vein, was Memphis, give us a second, okay? Second slogan. After meeting my students at the University of Memphis, after feeling the soul of Memphis, feeling the soul that you are a part of, my slogan changed. And it's now Memphis, you should be so lucky. I get emotional when I say it because there's a depth of soul here that's only created by the depth of pain that the town has experienced. And it creates a consciousness here that isn't elsewhere. There's a line in most cities that you don't cross. In LA, it's the east-west line. We're on the west side. We're cool. We never see the problems on the west side. In Atlanta, I think it's the north-south line. You never cross that line. In Memphis, there's no line. And so we have to see each other. And because love is our rooting, when we see each other, we want to help heal each other. And so that love in the light of my students, in this class, we talk about everything. You know, many of you, I'm sure, have kids in school. I don't think I'm going to be the first one to tell you, but those kids are at the highest percentages in the world depressed. And the reason they're depressed, depression isn't actually sadness, it's a misunderstood emotion. Depression is depressing the truth of who we are. And the educational system does this, sadly, We drill in and we do not draw out. So my class is all about not drilling in, telling you what you need to know, but who are you is my basic question. And then I can draw out your talent and your light. That is what the word educato originally meant in the Latin, to draw out and not to drill in. So I drew out the gorgeous souls of these young people who had been abused and abandoned and were homeless, but they were still walking. They were at the university. They were trying. And the things that they had overcome, I couldn't overcome the pull to be here. And so I'm here. I love this man. So, question 2. I'll be quicker with these questions. I feel like Trump breathing into the mic. I have a great story about breath, but I don't think I have time. Question 2 is, are we more alike than different? I'll be brief with this one. Look, the common thing we're going to say in all churches is, of course, we're like, we have love. We have love for our families, love for our communities, love for our children. We want health outcomes that are robust, etc. But I think we're really different. And I celebrate that difference. And I think it is God's organic design that we are different, because apparently the creator of all this loves diversity. Have you ever taken a walk in nature? Have you ever tried to memorize the terms of a nature book, right? Just the fauna on coming out of the earth. This God loves diversity. And I am so thankful that I'm in the Soulsville community, because that is a community, South Memphis, that was raised in a way of living that I was from these affluent suburbs. I don't understand. I haven't understood their challenges, but by being able to be in that difference, they have enriched me. I think God wants that. And he wants this difference, because how is it that you can practice tolerance if you don't meet people who are intolerant? If you're intolerant to intolerant people, you haven't stepped into your full character. And I think God's showing up everywhere saying, here I am, a judgmental person. Are you going to judge the judgmental person? You don't know that person. You don't know the abuse that they've taken, the love that's been withdrawn from their life. Are you going to be judgmental in the face of judgment? So I think diversity is necessary. Right? I think the difference makes all the difference. Okay. Here's the larger one, but I'll be quick with this. But you got to give me 1 second. What's the new way of thinking? I bet you already know. Anybody? I'll hold it like a class. Anybody? What's the new way of thinking? In order for humanity to survive. Not all at once. All right. So much for Socratic. We have a hand up. Yes. Speak loud. I have a pretty bad left ear. Change consciousness, but what does that mean specifically? That's good. Change consciousness. Loving. That sounds like you watch Oprah. Just curious. Loving. Okay. You already said it. You've said it 1,000 times in this service. It is this service was beautiful. I went, why am I talking? They already have it in the service. But something happens, and this was true of the movie I Am that I did. I did a documentary called I Am. And my father said that you go to church and you talk about love, and then you leave the door and you leave the love behind, and then you want to beat everyone. You want to be number one. You want to win, right? We now have a mantra saying we're going to win so much, we're going to win so much, we're going to win so much. You're going to get tired of the winning. And I think that's the old idea. I think that's the old idea. The old idea is competition and winning. The original term, competition, comes from the Latin word competere. It means to strive with. So Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, 2 basketball players, strive with each other to make each other better. But nowhere does competere say to the winner belongs the spoils. And that's what we've gotten upside down. I got it upside down. I was a winner. Lots of resources came my way, and I wondered why my neighbor had little. I wondered why my housekeeper couldn't feed her family. I realized I was part of the competere, the competition that had run amok, and so I changed my life. Emerson said it this way. I love this. It's very simple. Love as the basis of the state has never been tried. Love as the basis of the state. We've tried it in church. As the basis of the state has never been tried. I will not only predict the future, I will guarantee the future. We are going to try it. This generation, I believe it's your generation that will try it. You've seen my generation try the competition model, right? Where some of us are winners. I call myself, by the way, a philanthropist. P-I-S-S-E-D. Okay. Because, again, this is my view, and please, I'm not right. I just offer a point of view. Let it wash over you and take what you will or flush the rest. But a philanthropist, for me, is someone who I was greedy with my right hand so I could give it back with my left hand. It's being greedy now to be generous later. And I want to lead my life with more love even as I do my economy. My question is, how much do I need to rock my life? I don't want anyone to not have anything that they need. If you need a guitar to play and sing music like our beautiful singer, have that guitar. If you love to travel, have the money to travel. But my goodness, beyond that, the way to get wealthy is to share that with the world, with the community. And so I know it's coming because the moral arc of the universe is long and it bends towards justice. We all know that famous Martin Luther King saying. The moral arc of the universe is long and it bends towards justice. That's not a piety. That's a law. He believed it was a law like gravity is a law. That's why we celebrate love and not hate. If hate was more powerful than love, we'd come and we all sing to hate. But we don't sing to hate, right? We don't have a Hitler and say, how can we do that again? We have a Hitler and say, never again. Because love is more powerful than hate. Because God wants this to go on. He wants this dance, this play, this beautiful, eloquent orchestra to continue. So love as the basis of the state is the future, and it's going to be tried. It will be tried in education. It will no longer be competition and winning. It will be cooperation and compassion. And it will not be, I've got to beat you. It will be, how can I help you be your best, and how can you help me be my best? And then if you're a better drummer, guitar player, lawyer, God bless you. I'll find my way. You'll help me find my way. We'll do this together like a family, like every mystic, saint, and sage has ever said. The Tina Turner one is simple. What's love got to do with it? Everything. Next question. In fact, love is the answer to every question we've had so far. Love is the answer to all 5 questions. But I don't say love as a sentiment. I say love as a force. You quoted Maya Angelou earlier. Someone quoted Maya Angelou. Beth, was it you? Quoted Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou believed love was a force. Again, a force, like gravity is a force. She believed it holds the stars in the firmament and pushes and urges the blood in the veins. It is a force. We see it only as a sentiment, and we think it's idealistic. I am not into idealism. I am into realism. And God created love as a force. No one can tell you what holds the star in rotation around the nucleus. What is love but attraction? We're here on earth, rooted in the ground, in the soil. That gravity, attraction. Love is a force. Last question, what do we do? You already know. The question is, how courageous will each of us be? I'll tell you this, I don't know the congregation other than to know the head of this congregation. And I know that this congregation is walking this love in a courage. The 1% of a percent that you said, God doesn't do math, right? Right? God does not do math, as the famous poet said, but zero is where all the fun starts. So God's not looking at the percentage, but the love I know that's come out of this congregation has infinitely changed this city from the very birthplace of what you have said to walk to the place and say, we own this sin. I own every sin in South Memphis. How is it possible that I own the sin of slavery? Because I have enjoyed the fruits of slavery as I was raised in Washington, D.C. and saw the buildings built by slaves, the infrastructure I have ridden on that was built by slaves. I am a part of this vision. I am reaping the rewards of this vision, and I am owed a debt to Soulsville. And I know you know that. So what do? You keep doing what you're doing. You keep doing what you're doing. In Christianity, we have this saying, I never understood it. I think I finally understand it. St. Paul would say, pray without ceasing. And I'm thinking, pray without ceasing. I'm going to walk around all day and say, dear God, please help, please help. I don't think it's what it meant. I think it's what you were singing about and preaching about what it meant. To pray without ceasing is to cease every moment, to seize that moment and infuse it with love. The kindness with which you greet your grocer. The kindness with which you dignify the person that cleans this beautiful temple. The that listening ear in love that you give a student. I know this temple's doing it, and so that's why I'm so honored to be here. I'm going to close with a beautiful, I don't know if you know Rabbi Erwin Kula. You do. He's a wonderful man. He's a friend of mine. Rabbi Kula is like you. I don't know if you realize, but your rabbi is a mystic. A mystic is someone who sees into the mystery. So this mystic doesn't see me as a Christian or a Catholic or a Lebanese. He sees me as a soul brother. And I don't mean that in the sense of the way we use soul brother, that we're from the same source, that we have the same parenting, the same lineage. The mystic sees beyond. He transcends. Rabbi Kula and Rabbi Micah are mystics. And this is a story Rabbi Erwin Kula told me. He did a film called Time for a New God, and he told me that amongst the Judaic wisdom keepers, when the Messiah returns, there's only going to be one question that Messiah will ask. He's not going to ask, where did you go to temple? What kind of, were you a Reformed Jew? Were you, Orthodox? Were you a Catholic? Not going to ask that. Not going to ask how much money you had. Not going to ask your title, what you did for a living, a doctor, a lawyer. He's going to ask one thing. He's going to want to see the soles of your feet. He's going to want to see the soles of your feet because he's going to want to know that you wore them out trying to make this world a better place, a more loving place, inhabited by more of the God Spirit that connects us all. I know you're doing that. I would invite you to continue it. We all need you. You're why I'm here. Your love pulled me here. Even though we've never met, we met in that other plane. And I want to thank you because I've got more life. I've got more riches because of the soul of this community that you helped to build, that pulled me here, that keeps me here, the gravity, the force that grounds me here. 5 questions, 1 answer. Love. God bless you.